Hey everyone, this is Zach, the broker for Zach Taylor Real Estate. Today, I'm starting a new series all about how to run comps on properties. So I'm getting a lot of questions from agents on this, and so I want to cover what the whole comp process is, how to run a CMA or a comparative market analysis. And so this is going to be an entire video series. It's not just going to be one long video, 2 hours. I'm going to break it up into like 10 to 15-minute segments, short little videos, and that way you can better grasp what it's like to help a homeowner kind of come up with a listing price, or with the buyer side, maybe what they should offer on a property. So I think the best way to go about this is to kind of go backwards, because at the end of the day, most properties, when they're being sold and a buyer is offering on that property, they're going to use a mortgage. And when that mortgage comes into play, the bank wants to make sure that the home is actually worth the amount of money that they're lending out. So they run an appraisal. So that is one of the most important ways we want to get to this value, is looking through the eyes of an appraiser. Now, we are not appraisers as real estate agents, so we can never infer to a seller or buyer, this is exactly what the home is worth. I've run an appraisal report on it. No, you don't want to say any of that. So we're kind of just giving them ballparks. We're helping them out. We're showing them the market conditions and letting them make the best choice of where they want to list their property at, or if they want to buy a property, where they should offer at. So with that in mind, like I said, going backwards to forwards, the first two videos, we will cover two different appraisal reports to kind of get inside the mind of an appraiser. And then later on down the road, we will actually be looking at random homes, trying to come up with, if this home was listed, what should it be listed for? So one of the things I want to cover first, the reason for this, is let's say I just drew this line right here and it's a mile out. One of the biggest misconceptions is you have a property that you want to determine a value for, and you draw a mile circle, and then you take an average of everything in that mile and then times it by the square footage. That is not what an appraiser does, because when you do that, you're starting to mix different neighborhoods. So you have townhomes over here, right here. You have new construction. You have single family ranches, 2-story. And then you have homes that are in a golf course community. So this is why you never take this approach of just drawing a big circle, creating an average, because that does not show you the true potential of that home. So specific guidelines that appraisers tend to use is they want to stay within the neighborhood. If the next door neighbor's house sold recently, they would love to use that versus something that's a mile away. So they want to be as close as possible. They want to try and avoid any major roadways, because that does change the value, and it can do it considerably, especially if you're over here versus over here as a golf course community. So you want to try and stay within the community. Another kind of key guideline to work around is you want to look at properties that have been sold as relatively close to when this property is going to be listed. So if you can get a property that's been sold within the past 3 months, awesome. If it's 4 months, 5 months, I generally wouldn't go out more than 6 months. Try to stay within that 6-month time frame, same neighborhood. And then the next key features that you should be looking for are square footage. So you want to keep it close. You want to be roughly, if you have a 1,500 square foot home, you probably want to look for other homes that have been sold that are between 1,300 and 1,700. Or if you have 2,500 square feet on this home, potentially, you want to be maybe 2,300 to 2,700. So you kind of want to keep that tight range. Maybe within 10% is a rule of thumb, or within 200 square feet if it's a smaller home. Now, if you get to luxury market, it gets a little bit different. So this is just a general framework for normal resale properties is what we're going over today. And then the other thing I want to cover is beds and baths. You want to make sure those are very similar. And then year built. You want to try to keep that within probably plus or minus 5 years. That's a pretty good framework, except if you're dealing with something that was built maybe a year ago and everything else it is 10 years after that. So try to keep it really close. So let's jump to the appraisal report. And then next video, I'm going to cover one more appraisal. And then finally, we're going to be doing some CMAs on properties. But at least we know what an appraiser is looking for. So here's the report. If you haven't seen one already, they just mark different features about the home. So this is owner occupied. It's fee simple. It's a purchase transaction. They put the days on the market. They note any sort of listing price adjustments. So they noted it was originally listed for $459, reduced to $435. And date of contract. They also put, is there any financial assistance, loan charges, sale concessions, gift or down payment assistance? So if you have a property that maybe the purchase price is $400,000, but you have $15,000 in seller concessions, the appraiser is going to note that. So just be aware of that. If you maybe have a large amount of those concessions, they're going to note that, and they might kind of have that in the back of their mind. Is the home still worth it? They go type of location, so suburban, built up, growth is stable, property values are stable, demand supply, we're in a shortage, marketing time is under 3 months. And then we put city limits of Murfreesboro, close proximity to the business districts of Murfreesboro, employment stability in the area is good. Let's see what else I want to cover here. They put the size of the lot. Zoning compliance is legal, not non-conforming. No zoning illegal, so it's legal. Electricity, water, street, not in a flood zone, so they do mark that. FEMA special flood hazard area, no, it's flood zone X. Are the utilities and offsite improvements typical for the market area? Yes. Are there any adverse site conditions or external factors, easements, encroachments, environmental conditions? No. So again, this could affect the value of this home if those things applied. Go here, it's on a slab. Let's see, detached, existing home. There's a fence, central air conditioning, garage, 2-car. So they're marking all these things to try to get a clear picture of what they're about to run an appraisal for. They put stainless steel appliances, tile backsplash, granite countertops, tray ceilings, recessed lights, crown molding. No updates in the prior 15 years because it was built in 2019. Appears to be in good condition. No signs of deferred maintenance or need of repairs. There is no evidence of functional or external depreciation. Subject property has been well kept. Are there any physical deficiencies? No. Does the property generally conform to the neighborhood? Yes. All right. So here's where we get into exactly what an appraiser is doing. So what they do is they look at what we call the subject property. That is the home that is under scrutiny, kind of the listing, what everybody wants to purchase on. So that's the subject property. And then what they do is find comparables. And usually they want to find between 3 and 6 comparables. That's usually what you see on most appraisal reports is between 3 and 6. And those comparables, what they do is they say, okay, this subject property is under contract for, in this case, $435. Now, with the other comparables, we will make adjustments to those to make it apples to apples to figure out, okay, based on these 3 to 6 homes, what should the subject be on? So the adjustments are made on the comparables, not the subject, because the subject, the purchase price is what it is. Where the comparables, we need to say, maybe this comparable is smaller, so we need to maybe make an adjustment upwards to say, if these were the same size, here's what they should both sell for. So that's what we're going to look at right here. So here's the address, here's the sale price. And then we go down here, it shows location, it goes the type of sale, it shows the site value. So all these different line items are ways that an appraiser could make an adjustment in their determination. So they note that this property sold for cash. It's sold on 5/22, fee simple. It is a smaller lot size, but the appraiser determined that's not enough to make an adjustment. They put the quality of construction. They deemed it was the same. Age of the home is the exact same, both 3 years old. Condition, 2 years old. Total rooms. So this comparable has 1 extra room, but it has 1 less bathroom. So it has 2.5 baths. This one has 3 baths. So because of that difference with a half a bath, they're giving this one $5,000 extra. So even though it's sold for $420, they're saying if this one had 3 bathrooms to match the subject, it would be $425. So that's what this means right here. So basically, if you see pluses, that's good. That means they're adding to this, and hopefully that should help get closer to this value. Now, here's the difference as well. Gross living area. So right here, there's a difference in square footage, about 300 square feet difference. And so what they deemed the difference is saying $13,500 for that difference in square footage. And now this confuses a lot of people, but this is what an appraiser does. So if you went back to our earlier example of just drawing a mile radius, taking the average square foot and timesing it by our square footage, that's going to throw you way off versus what an appraiser is doing. Appraiser is making little adjustments here and there. So he's saying for about 300 square foot difference, we will give $13,500 extra to this sales price. And so he said, now that these are the same, both have 2-car garages, insulated, he said covered porch, patio, everything else being the same, and these adjustments, that this subject property could sell for $438,500. Now we're under contract for $435, so this is good. First one, good. And let's go over here. I actually pulled up, so this is the subject property, 3-bed, 2-bath. All the bedrooms are downstairs, no carpet in the main living, laminate flooring, open floor plan, kitchen, dining area. Kitchen features granite countertops, subway backsplash, 0 entry walk-in tiled shower, screened-in patio. 4th bedroom's upstairs that can be used as a guest or bonus room, walk-in attic closet, all appliances convey. Party board and stone exterior, concrete ramp and garage. Okay, so here's the house, real quick. Here's the house. Here's the inside. Some nice kitchen, dining area, laundry room, main bathroom. And then there's this huge upstairs bonus room that they called a 4th bedroom. There's a screened in porch. And then there's an exterior patio, a little fenced in yard. You can see the lot. So this is this property. This is the subject property. Now let's jump over to, nope, I had them checked. Where'd they go? Oh, they erased my checked. Okay, so let's look these up real quick. 1721. Right here, Sunray. All right, so this is his first comp that he deemed was a similar home. So 3-bed, 2.5 bath, 2-car garage, beautiful low maintenance exterior, and 0 days on the market. Sellers do not want home publicly marketed. Listing waivers attached. So this was sold before it even went on the MLS. Cash. And I'm guessing this is an investment company. Yep. So an investment company bought this cash, wasn't even on the market. So as far as my viewpoint compared to the appraiser, this might have affected the value a little bit because maybe it's sold a little bit cheaper. An investment company bought it off market. And then if we also look at the home, there's no pictures. And so the appraiser is making this judgment based on not seeing the home or knowing what the kitchen looks like, the bathrooms look like, nothing. And if we go to maps, so the subject property is right here. And again, when I said staying within the same neighborhood if you can, their very first comp is across 41, Highway 41, and Joby Jackson. And then furthermore, there's this gigantic warehouse in that your backyard faces. So if I go layers, satellite, there's this gigantic warehouse. So to me, again, I would have made an adjustment for the subject property, a little bit nicer of a neighborhood, not crossing those major boundaries, not staring at a warehouse when you look out over your backyard. So for example, so this is the subject home. So there's no side neighbors. There's this big field in the back versus this giant warehouse right there. I wonder if you can see it from the road. Yep. So that's your backyard. So I personally would have made an adjustment for that because you're staring at this giant warehouse. So 438. Let's look at the second one. 3511 Plum Leaf Place. So this one sold for 482. It's 0.24 miles away. Arm's length transaction. FHA. Closer in square footage size. Construction, quality of construction, he's saying is the same. Actual age, this one's brand new. And so because of that, they're taking away from this 482 $10,000 because this one is newly built. They're also, this has 2 extra rooms, but this appraiser said it's negligible. Same with the bedrooms. But this one is a little bit bigger, about 130 square feet bigger. So they took away $6,000 off this comparable. So they're saying this one is newer, so 472, and then take away 6,000. So now we're at 466. So that's how they get with this. So let's look at this one real quick. 3511. 3511. Here we go. So this is actually the same neighborhood. This is a brand new home, 482, very similar square footage, same beds and baths. No pictures of the exterior. I'm guessing the appraiser probably drove by and took a picture of this house. Let's go here. Yeah, the street view is not working. So I'm guessing he drove by this one, but this is a brand new home, basically the same floor plan. And this one sold for 482. So being the same, he's saying it'd be 466 for the subject property. Next one, comparable 3, 226 Pathfinder Drive, 1.45 miles away. So this is pretty far out there. Sold for 477, cash. And then they're saying $1,000 in concessions, a little bit bigger lot size. Quality construction saying the same. Age of this home is only 2 years old, saying this is a C2. For the extra half bath, so this is 2.5 baths, this is 3 baths, this appraiser is adding $5,000 to the sale price. But at the same time, this one is a little bit bigger, so they're taking away $15,000. And so when I did the math on these adjustments right here, they're basically calculating $45 a square foot difference. And that's what they're using to times that by the difference to equal these numbers right here, this 13,500, 6,000, 15,000. And then this one has a fireplace. So they're saying because of that, they're also taking away another $3,500. So this appraiser is valuing a fireplace at $3,500. So maybe if this home did have a fireplace, you could add $3,500. Maybe something to think about in the future. 464, 200. Let's look at this. 2226 Pathfinder. 2226 Pathfinder. 2226 Pathfinder. All right, so here's this home right here. Two-story home in Brady Estates. Let's see where on the map this is. Okay, so the subject property is right here, and this home is up here. So now we'll go back. Very similar. So this is very similar. They even have a little bit of this. Looks good. So they have a bonus space. It's a little bit smaller, but it's similar. Now they have a little bit bigger backyard. Not much though. It's very similar, but they do not have a screened-in porch. So the subject property, if you remember, has that screened-in porch right here. So I may have, if I was an appraiser, might have added a little bit of a difference for that versus they're just saying it's the same. So 464, 200, I would have maybe added, hey, $1,000 for the screened-in patio. So 465 is what I would have gotten. So that's the first 3 comps looking at this. So this appraiser noted, I did research the sale or transfer history of the subject property and comparable sales. We'll go down. So I'm going to show the last comps on the further down page, but basically the appraiser came up and said this property should be worth $445,000. So if it's under contract for $435,000, you're all good. You move forward. The buyers actually have $10,000 in equity. But let's keep going at what appraisers look at to see if there's anything else we can pick up on. So 1634 Sunray, 1634 Sunray. I think that's in that warehouse community again. That's that same road name. 1634 Sunray. All right, so here's this one, 3 days on the market. But again, no pictures. And at least this one is on the inside track versus back here staring at this warehouse. Let's go here. There's the house. Sold for $421,000. And if we go back to our appraisal report, so they're saying this sold cash, arm's length transaction, 0 concessions, no adjustments for the difference in lot size, quality construction the same. This one's a year older, but to the appraiser, they're saying that's negligible. Condition, they're saying the same. This one has 1 extra room, but 1 less half bath, that same half bath, where 2.5 baths versus 3 baths. So they're adding $5,000 to this value. This is also considerably smaller. And so they are adding $21,000 to this sale price as well. So all in, they get $447,000. And then the final one real quick, 2615 Elam. 2615 Elam. So let's go to that. Twenty-six 2615 Elam. Here we go. Here's the front, inside the house. Similar. They kind of have this overhang as well. They do have a bigger backyard. So let's go back to see where this is. So the only adjustment that I would make without even staring at the appraisal report is potentially this is on Elam Road directly. So it's not in a neighborhood. And there's about 10 homes that are all the same. And then everything else is kind of just farmland. So if we go back to the appraisal report, this is saying bigger lot size, doesn't matter. The same. This one's a little bit older, but doesn't matter. C3, so they're saying the subject property is nicer than this one. So they're adding $10,000 to this sale price. The difference they are saying is negligible on this one. It's about 90 square feet, but they're saying it's negligible. Now this one again has a fireplace, so they took away $3,500. And then all in with the adjustments, that's $446. This one is active. You can tell right here, I shouldn't have said sold, but active. So that's how, using these 5 comparables, the appraiser keeps ending up around $445. So you can see in the mindset, of an appraiser, it's not just that simple square footage times the average price per square foot in an area. What they're doing is making adjustments, a little bit here for square footage, a little bit here for an extra bathroom, maybe a little bit here for a bedroom, maybe for a fireplace or garages. So you want to get this as close as possible when you're running comparables. You want something to be as close as possible so you don't have to make those adjustments. Because again, we are not appraisers. So if you can find a 3-bedroom house with a 3-bath and 2-car garage and similar square footage and built in a similar time frame, now we are reducing the amount of error that we might run into when we run a CMA. So like I said, in future videos, I will run through how to actually run a CMA, but I wanted to get us in the mind of an appraiser. I'm gonna make one more video about another appraisal report, this one being in Nashville. That way you can kind of see the difference in square footage adjustments made for Nashville versus a more suburban area. And if I had to give my quick opinion of what I think this home should have sold for, so if I look at the comparables again, I really don't like these Sunny Ray comparables compared to this house, because you're staring at a giant warehouse in your backyard. So I don't think that's the best comp. I like this Plum Leaf one. This is the same exact neighborhood. I like this Pathfinder one. It was a very similar construction. So I like these two. And then also down here, if we go to the next ones. So Elam is still active at the time that this appraiser report was done. It's okay. I think it's kind of close. Comparable 4, again, that Sunny Ray with the warehouse, don't like those. Here's what I would deem this property if I was looking to list it is, so I drew a map around the neighborhood, and kind of the underrated part about this neighborhood, and this is where a good buyer's agent can come into play, is they are building out the rest of this, the builder. So they've already completed up to here, and they're building out right here. So that's why you see all these new builds right here. And I know sold is the best source of comparing a property, running an appraisal report, doing a CMA. Solds are always the best, because actives, you truly don't know what it's going to sell for. However, here's where a good buyer's agent can come into play. So as we look at these homes down here that are getting listed currently and built. So if we look at this one, this is the subject property, if you remember. So this is built in 2019. This isn't that far off. So when you look at homes, maybe they're built in 2005, there's really not many adjustments that are done if it's being compared to a home that was built in 2010 or 2002. It all kind of falls in the same point. So here's what I want to show you of why I'm bringing that up. So although these don't count yet, this is the biggest upside of this property. So it's under contract 435. Now, if I scroll to the top and you look real quick, you see, wait a minute, look at these two. Almost identical, 4-bed, 3-bath, 2,282 square feet. So a little bit bigger, like 130 square feet bigger. So maybe we take away $6,000 on that. So that'd be 482, maybe another $10,000 because this one is brand new. But again, 4 years down the road, this isn't going to matter. I think this home is going to be pulled up. So if you took away 10,000 for that, you'd be at 472. And if we look at this home, it looks very, very similar. And actually the subject property has granite here, a little bit nicer shower. It's all tile versus this one is just the prefab tub liner. Subject has the wrought iron spindles. Now, if we look at the floor plan, so the only difference, this one has a true 4th bedroom upstairs, where the subject property, it's a gigantic bonus room that they deem the 4th bedroom, but this one truly is 4 bedrooms plus a bonus room. So we were at 372, you might take away another $7,000, $10,000 for a 4th bedroom, true 4th bedroom. So then that would put you at like 462, 465-ish. Look at this other one. 4-bed, 3-bath, 2282, 492. Same thing. So it's got that little bedroom or that extra bedroom upstairs, but same thing, same neighborhood. This one as well, for sale, 492. And then you have this one pending right now. I don't think this was pending at the time of the appraisal, so I don't think that's why this one was included, but 473, 3-bed, 3-bath, 2151. So this is almost identical. Now it does have this outhang. So maybe you could say, hey, $8,000 for that, or $10,000, or whatever an appraiser would deem for this. So if you look at this, very, very, very similar on this one. So if you took away maybe $10K for that overhang, you're at 463. And then if you look at this one, this is a little bit bigger, considerably, 2581. But if we remember the previous adjustments they've made per square foot, maybe you take away $20,000 for price of square foot difference. That's roughly, I believe, that $45 a square foot the appraiser was using. So you get 485. This is brand new. So maybe you take away 10K, you're at 475. And then you have that extra bedroom. So you would be at like 465 again. So considerably, what a good buyer's agent can do is show potential long-term opportunities. I really think the subject property is going to get pulled up to that 460, 465 mark. And so that's why knowing your comps, helping your agent or helping your clients can be a huge benefit. So practice, 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 look at different homes, pick random homes in different neighborhoods and see why they listed the way they did, run different CMAs. So I'm going to make a second video that goes over one more appraisal report. This time it's going to be in Nashville. So that way we can see Nashville pricing. And then I'm going to follow up with actually running CMAs and do a couple different homes and video series. So this video is a little bit more longer, or a little bit longer, because it's kind of describe our process, describe the thought process, and future videos will just go right into exactly what we're trying to do. So hopefully this helps you guys out. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss when videos are posted. We don't have a posting schedule. So go ahead and subscribe, click the little bell so you're notified. And other than that, I will see you guys next time.